Test, test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You're right back. You pay yet?
No, I'm going.
I can go up and do it. How favorable is this?
Well,
Is that loud enough? Is that loud enough?
Here.
that's all you have time. You hit here, well, I'm back in town now. Oh. Did they run you out? Man, I ended up having to move the wall for that. Move you where? Hawaii. Did you could take that? Huh. It wasn't exactly voluntary. But yeah, but it wasn't punishment either. No, you had to
No fear, no fear, no fear, no fear here, and declare your independence of me, Ernest Hancock. Oh, let's get this cranked down just a little bit. There we go. There, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, here we go. Let me tell you what's going on today. We had the magazine came out, and what we wanted to do is go ahead. Let me adjust this so it's not so hot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. You know what? We'll just have a break. I just won't talk as loud. What we're doing is we're at the Arizona Breakfast Club. We just finished January's 2012 prediction for all of this next year's events, and then we have a lot of great authors that are participating in this month's magazine. And what we wanted to do is make sure that you have the opportunity to share the Arizona Breakfast Club with us, because what we did is we had to be up late last night and get it done. Got it done. It's out there. It's great. It's over 70-something pages. Now the thing is that what we wanted to accomplish was kind of a preparation for 2012 and an announcement of all the things that we got coming, because we're going to be focusing on it. We've been busting butt on a lot of stuff. We have the RV is about finished. We're starting to work on the inside. We're creating the studio. Now the unit that we're using right now, and I know this is going in hot. Let me see if I can set this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's better. Okay. I don't want you guys dying. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make sure that you can see that we have the capacity to transmit from anywhere. This unit is something that we're going to be doing. Let me do this. 1, 2. There we go. And I got my headset on. We came in with like 5 minutes to set up. But that's the point, is that we're able to go anywhere and set up immediately and do the radio show nationally live. Now, the RV that we have is donated almost a year ago, and it's like a 20-footer or something. It's kind of a half RV, an overhead van thing, and but it's an RV. It's got a kitchen and the bathroom and the whole spiel. So we've been testing everything, and what we've done is we went ahead and made sure that it was sound enough that we keep going step by step. First, does the engine work? Okay, okay, seems like it's all right. Does it pass emissions? Okay, get government seal approval. Okay, so we get that. All right, well then we got to get the suspension done. Okay, and we got it painted and all, so we're ready to logo it and light it and getting new awning and all this kind of stuff. So for less than $3,000, us doing all the work ourselves, we might have it going on. So what we're going to do is now we're building out the inside to turn it into a communications van and RV, whatever. Because what we're going to be doing is taking it around the country. I'm it looks like if it keeps holding up the way it is, that March I'm going to be doing a trip with it. And we may be going to Texas, and we might even stretch it out to Virginia. I'm going to be going there in March to help Karen Kwiatkowski with her campaign because I like it. I mean, I'm not voting, but, you know, dang it, you know, help her get the message out, and I've known Karen for a long time. And somebody in the Pentagon squealing on Rumsfeld and Cheney while she's sitting there, and they were just had so much arrogance and hubris that they would never think, and chauvinistic as hell, that it would ever be a woman that was doing it to them. Then she goes into retirement, early retirement, and comes out and says, yeah, it was me. Ha! In your face. So I'm going, you know, so I'm like, yes, I want to go help her. Now, the other thing is that in the summer, for probably the whole month of June, we're going to go ahead and take the RV and go north. That means that we can, you know, we'll see if we can hook up with Boston Tea Party, Wyoming, and go see Pastor Chuck Baldwin in Montana and Kalispell up there and see what's up. Then we'll head over, maybe Chicago, and say hello to Gary Franchi, and then we'll be making our way to Pork Fest. So at Pork Fest, we're going to be really pushing what we're going to be starting now. We already have about a year ago, and it's really amping up the use of silver. So what we're going to do is have you guys share with this, and today was an opportunity. We're going to be sharing with the Arizona Breakfast Club. Now right now everybody's starting to come in. They're doing the getting their meals and so on. Usually about the bottom of the hour, 8:30, we'll go ahead and start the program, and you get to hear us sing. Oh yeah, 40-something years, you know, it's a tradition. Everybody's got to sing, or you don't get no breakfast. So we'll go ahead and have you guys share with that. Now Ross Edwards is here. He's going to be part of the presentation. Now, what are you going to be telling the people?
Talking about our progress.
I don't think so. Okay.
And
Fine with me.
Peter Schiff is coming Monday. We had him on the show Thursday, I think it was, and talked to him and made sure he had to, you know, he's gonna indulge your presence for a little while for you to make a presentation. You're gonna have some stuff for him and show them some. But the thing that you're doing tomorrow, tell the people what you're doing tomorrow. Where are you going?
Tomorrow morning.
taxes
But it's a nice step. Our economic.
You're not gonna tell? Secret? Okay, he's gonna build up to it. You know, well, let's put it this way. 2001, Space Odyssey, people worshiping the monolith. We got something for, you know, worshiping the monolith of silver. We'll put it that way. So there's a lot of things going on. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure that you guys get to go on this journey with us, because Monday, we start a 3-hour program, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Standard Time. It goes, I mean, it's going to be every day, it's going to be head down and plow. Now, we've been doing Saturdays, you know, for the last month or so, you know, gearing back up, making sure and making some changes to the studio and so on. Because what's going to happen is we have the ability now that we've always done video, and we've done, you know, a lot of the social networking and cross-posting and all this other stuff. It's always been so labor intensive. So now we have the capacity. We're going to be using Justin TV. It's going to automatically record and go straight to archive. And you get that. I have to flip video and audio switchers so you don't see me going to the bathroom in commercial breaks. But, you know, we'll go ahead and we'll have the breaks in there. Maybe we'll have some fun for those of you that will be actually going live. And we can do some stuff in the breaks. But what will happen is it's going to go national. We've already got affiliates around the country. Now, I'm telling you, I'm going to need your help on a lot of stuff. What we've also done, we've always had the capacity, but we didn't flip everything on because we had so many things to do. We're pretty stable on the magazine now, things are working well. So what we're going to do is we're going to start taking phone calls. Now, we have 4 lines coming in to the studio. So we're going to be able, I'll give you out the number, and we'll do anything now because I'm not there. But we're going to go ahead and start taking phone calls live. We're going to broadcast live on the internet video. We're going to be archiving as we have been and so on.
Somebody got phone there, so I'm not sure what's.
We're going to be making sure that we do use the remote
Yeah, you sent me a lot of,
capacity.
no, I don't get
And
it.
one of the things that we wanted to make sure was that you guys got to also participate.
Race me a question.
So we have the capacity through my role, able to have the,
Where's that the guy who's running the?
putting on the dog.
Not sure I
The
understood
reason
all of it,
is
but I was
is
reading all of it.
because 2012 is
not
going to
sure
be the
my,
year that
AOL
humanity breaks first.
sends
I want to make sure you guys are on the right. We'll be right back with Ross Edwards and the Arizona Breakfast Club. When we come back.
Oh, I'm do that.
Not that much,
I can't
I've
even
got-
get into my Yahoo.
It takes,
I'm also on my foot and I'm supposed
I want to
to
send one out.
stay at home and do that as much as
It takes
possible.
50 seconds before it starts to send it. It's like it's getting his permission.
Yeah, they're doing it. They're doing it. I got this one video from this guy. That's when my computer
Okay, let
started.
me tell you what's going on. We finished the, we were up late doing the magazine. Bottom line is that our radio program, 3 hours a day, starts Monday. I have one more show that I needed to do on Saturday, and I didn't have time to, while we're finishing the magazine, to assemble a audio file for them to get, or it would have been blank if they had to do a repeat. So what we're gonna do is today, the radio show goes from 8 to 10. So we're gonna simulcast the Arizona Breakfast Club with the radio show that goes into the network out of New Hampshire. So Ross is going to be doing a presentation today. So while he's up here, I'll just give him the mic and he can do his thing. We'll go ahead and eat and so on until 8:30. And about at the 8:30 or 8:45 mark, probably 8:30, we'll go ahead and start the presentation. He'll make his presentation and we'll just have him on mic. But it has to do breaks about every 10 minutes. So you guys get to be part of it. Oh yeah. And when we go into break, you'll hear the music. Hopefully we just.
LRN.FM. Imagine someone in your community getting in your car.
Okay, now what we'll do is we'll try and turn this up a little bit so you guys can tell the music. When we come in and go out, especially when we go out, we'll be right back to Arizona Breakfast Club. You guys go, woohoo, yay!
Especially on that side of the table.
You must be a spy. Misinformation.
Just 76 votes.
Employee of the federal government.
Yeah, I'm responding to me.
You're an employee of the federal government.
I know for a drive for 2 years.
You got a social security number? You use it?
We're doing,
Yes, I do.
Every time you use it, you're an employee of the federal government.
Yeah, I guess so. And they pay me.
Sometimes they take their money out of your account too.
How much did you get ready?
That's why they take it out of your account, because you have a checking account for the federal government. When you put your social security
all
number.
the witnesses told it from story.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's like, which witness
Them
are you gonna
gators
use?
come in here and try to
You
tell
don't
you that
use
they're
this one,
doing
you put it on
something
motion.
illegal, but they're
Any
not.
witnesses that you
Because
just
you
made
just opened it up for them.
any witness you don't use, you start your
Social
person,
security number is
because you're saying that they lied. Otherwise, you gotta use it.
So how do you maintain privacy then?
you just don't use your social security number. You read the back of your card, it says don't use it. You can get it taken away from you for abusing it.
It's,
Kind of hard not to use it if you want to draw social security.
Well, that's a different thing. And then most people, they sign their check.
Oh, no, I already have it.
Instead of signing it as authorized representative, they sign their name on it. They can throw you in jail. You're going to be signing it as an authorized representative of the trust.
So that makes it legal.
Yes.
You just get here?
I've been here, pardon me for not getting this. One of the
What do you get for a Social Security card? I got mine, I got a little card, not so big.
That's all right. Got a number on the back of it? You need to get you a new one. Because that's your Federal Reserve Bank account. There should be a red or blue number on the back of it. You see it by that letter.
Yeah, that's all right.
Get you a new one.
Yeah, what we fight for here on the Clay Independence. Me, Ernest Hancock here at the Arizona Breakfast Club in Scottsdale, Arizona. Hey, you know, they so don't know how much we have fun in the studio. You know, listen. How many of you have actually listened to the radio show? I can't hear you. Yeah. You don't hear hands, man. You know. So one thing that we're going to do today is we're going to have some of the features that we're going to be focusing on this year. There's a lot of things that have been going on behind the scenes. The magazine, let me tell you, just predicting 2012 for our audience and readers. Let me give you just a little taste. Now, we have a lot of great activists like, John Bush from Texas and Catherine Blythe, man, they did fantastic. Both of them had their own individual articles, and they're talking about how they're transitioning from the system into an agorist life. I mean, they're just like, look, man, this is how we did it. This was the problems that we had. This is the difficulties, and this, and we're like happier not being slaves for the man. Then you have Gerald Celente. Well, the boy's always got something to say about the future. Doug Casey. Oh, is it time to get out of Dodge? Charles Goyette did a great job. Anyway, Varick, man, I really enjoyed that. He got bumped, towards the top, man. We're going to put L. Neil Smith up there. Here's a science fiction writer, author of decades, that is like, let me tell you what's going to happen. Oh, and when I said this 30 years ago, I was right. So this is the kind of minds that we have. Oh, and Charles Goyette did 5 things that he said that was coming, and I'm going, yep, probably. You need to know what it is. Karen Kwiatkowski. Oh, and she's running for Congress in Virginia, along with Ron Paul, and Lieutenant Colonel Air Force in the Pentagon, while Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld run around in the Office of Special Plans, and she's sitting there, watching all of this, and she's posting on Colonel Hackworth's site saying, look, man, this is lies. They're going to they're lying us into Iraq, and then, next Iran. Same thing, same freaking thing. And what happened, what she did, she's going, let me tell you what's really going on. Well, she wrote under a man's name, I think, and they were just, it would never occur to them that a woman was outing them. So this is, and finally she came out and she goes, oh yeah? I take an early retirement, and you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. You know what? We don't want to talk about it with Lieutenant Colonel in the Pentagon and do what was what. That's what they didn't want to do. So now she's running for Congress and gets to talk about it. We had Ryan Mott did an article. He was at the Iowa straw poll this week and went through the process, and he made it very clear exactly what happened and how, and the differences between 4 years ago to now, because he gave a speech and became one of the delegates 4 years ago, went through the same process this time, and was describing the difference. And I'll tell you what the big difference was. Big bad boys were scared. This is, man, oh heck no. Now there's controversy coming out of Iowa to where individuals had, because the way it works is you go in, you have a room, just like here at the Breakfast Club. And you'll go, okay, who's representing whatever candidate, you get 2 minutes per candidate. Candidate comes up, you have their spokesman, they go, vote for this guy, cuz, and then their 2 minutes is up, go to the next guy, at the end, you caucus. And they say, all right, here's my piece of paper, I wrote it down on whatever. They separate them out, they count them. They take that number, and they call it in and report it. Now, what those guys report, that's a whole different thing, all right? But what was happening is around the state, there were individuals that were sitting down, watching it, helping them count, standing there and then writing it down on pieces of paper. Oh my God. Now what happened was, in one of the precincts, it was reported on the local news there, that he goes, you know, I'm a Ron Paul supporter, but I'll tell you what happened. Right here in my little area, my itty bitty little precinct right here, and I know that Romney got 2 votes and they reported 22. So that means that Santorum really won, according to that. Okay, just him. He's going down this 8-vote thing or something. He goes, no, Santorum won. Well, the machine, heck no, that ain't ever going to happen. So what they did is just demonstrated how easy it is just to change numbers, which they do all the time. How many went to Dr. Paul? Now think about it. It was hours after. It was the last ones. We're waiting for these 2 candidates, these precincts, these to come in. And it was the universities, okay? It was where the college students were. And you knew what was going to happen there. And you know what? We don't have those numbers yet. Because we don't have those numbers yet. You know, so the thing is that I don't trust this. I just don't trust it. So they gave the attention that's out to quit it, tie with. This whole process, I have absolutely no faith in other than what Dr. Paul says out of his mouth on that podium, at the podium. When he's up there in the debate, which is tonight. Everybody here is invited to my house tonight for the debate, watching party, which we've had. You know what we did when we started this? We said we're going to go ahead and we'll just host some debate parties. We'll have you come over and everybody bring me a bottle of red wine. Thank you, Ruth. So yeah, Ruth, she didn't make the Christmas parties because she fell down and hurt her. Yeah, Ruth had a blood clot in her brain. They had to drain her brain. She looks like she's doing well. Yeah, she's in the hospital. So what happened was, the only way this affected me is that I didn't get my bottle of wine when she brought by, so everything's okay. I'm sorry, baby. I'm glad you're doing well. Now, Ruth has been, and Beryl, they've been members of the Arizona Breakfast Club for 30-something years. Has it been almost 40? Since the late 60s. The Arizona Breakfast Club has been around a long time. And one of the traditions we'll get going here at the coming back from the yes, that's what we'll do. Our rejoining music is going to be the choir. Yes, we're going to have fun with that. Now, what we'll explain to you today after we come back and we do that is Ross Edwards is going to come on and start the presentation for the Breakfast Club, and that means IDB. But he's going to go ahead and talk about his contribution into turning this entire generation next towards an agorist, voluntarist, anarchist, leave me alonist, whatever you want to call it, society inside your mind, in your head, between the ears. That's where this revolution really resides. Because no matter what we do here, if they can control, they care not what laws we make. They don't care what civil liberties we have or don't. It all comes down around to make sure that we keep a system in place that those that won't leave us alone are in charge of 50% of every transaction. It's the money. And if we can cut them out of that, start feeling a little bit of freedom. I do. And that's what the revolution is going to do for 2012. Then you can just look back and see what we did for 08. And that is our standard.
Was it whoa or yeah?
The IRS, DOD, EPA, FIN, and some are all above. These agencies control America by illegal regulations to trick people into voluntary contract registration, then demand compliance with false entities. Escape the madness. Visit escape-tickets-irs.org. Escape-tickets-irs.org.
That's right.
think I got it. I got it.
No, I think I was just so
Wake me up when it's over. You better start thinking about the song he's gonna have to sing.
Man, I did my shit. I'm busy, man.
Rising hard, plug in, that's all it takes. I didn't think they had enough speakers they could handle the audio.
Oh yeah, everybody get your song sheets. Turn that mic that way. And we'll do Hail, hail, the gang's all here. You guys gotta be loud.
It's being recorded.
That's my job, don't worry about it. We're doing
Being recorded as the music said.
don't make it complicated.
Innovations and technological breakthroughs in energy, computer science, and space trade. True, well before it's submitted to the mainstream media. The media is we now have fantastic news updates.
Happy New Year, bro. Happy New Year, too.
Oh, do they have the song yet?
Hail, hail, the gang's all here.
Good. That's salt and pepper. Then we can reach that. Thank you.
From the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Hail, the gang's all here. Morning breakfast clubbers, morning breakfast clubbers. Chow, 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 chow. We all want chow. That is what we're here for now. Yeah, welcome to the Breakfast Club here from Phoenix, well, Scottsdale, Arizona, where we're at right now. On Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock. Yeah, these songs we've been singing for a long time. Chow. Well, that's Harry Everingham, was the founder of the Arizona Breakfast Club, and he just passed away a few years ago at 94.
Don't forget
And
Martin.
he started the Breakfast Club back in the late 60s. And all the winter visitors that would come here, country, went on from like September to May. And what happened was he made sure that, oh God, he's here. Anyway, so what happened was he made sure that he brought to a lot of his peers and his friends and retirees what he had been doing as work since World War II. Now, he was part of what they called United We Stand. And it was a national movement organization that was all about America, family, God, country. Now, it's kind of taking on the more libertarianship, and the one thing that I don't mind bringing in the traditions and we can sing and so on, but that pledging to the flag thing just had to go because I just couldn't do it. That's just the way it is. So let's go ahead and go with Ross Edwards here. Let me get Mike level here. You say hello.
Good morning.
There you go. Now, Ross Edwards is going to make a presentation. Tom, can you set the volume on that so everybody can hear him?
Yeah.
So we're going to do the speakers inside here. Now go ahead and explain to the people what your role is and what you're offering, and that the whole package of your part of it that we're working on to bring silver back into circulation. And it's not even really that as a goal. What the goal is to just extricate ourselves from the system. And it's starting to take off. Go ahead and tell us about it, Ross.
I come from the perspective of like big companies institute and about that sort of the car's already gone off the cliff and the steering wheel is working, so I'm busy hitting so hard. So that's what I donate my efforts for.
Okay, let's go ahead and stand up, hold the mic, face the people, and yell so they can hear you.
Okay.
Pull it out.
And so that's to go over the history of Arizona activism. I think it's got an awesome record, but I think what we're going towards lately is building the support structure for the harsher times ahead. And we will cheer on national figures that advocate solutions, but we're on for them to help us out. So it's all about building social nets here, and a lot like in New Hampshire with the Free State Project. What has been successful in the past summers at the Pork Fest, the Porcupine Freedom Festival, which is a week-long camping retreat. Now it's in about 1,000 people go every year. And there's just all kinds of experimentation there with agri-risk solutions, which is the Greek word for the public marketplace. And that is the philosophy of people who are busy prepping their communities and finding people who are good at different tasks with each other. So at the festival, there's been experimentation with alternative currencies, and that's the project that I'm speaking about, is the Silver Dime trading cards. We weren't the first at it, well, not then. Drew and Nick started it about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, but as of lately.
It was last January.
Yeah, and we really ramped up this as our effort. We've ramped up the quality, the distribution, the integration with the internet, and now part of what I've contributed, Jim and I contributed a fashioning aspect, fashion marketing campaign. We create T-shirts that are sort of subversive and use memes. That's why my shirt says "Don't tread on meme," because we believe
it's not memey.
No. Meme is generally a global inside joke, which is how we kind of observe how economics works in the free marketplace, subjective value theory, spontaneous order, and that's what our marketing campaign is about. It wasn't enough for me to whip out my Silver Dime card to someone in line at the restaurant, so I wanted to create a T-shirt that was provocative and with a QR code on the back or the front, so if someone was shy, they wouldn't even have to bother me. They could just scan the back of my shirt and read our philosophy and go online and buy our Silver Dime trading cards. So yeah, we're the not the only ones trying to build the silver barter economy. We're not the first, but right now we're the best, we believe, at this quantity of silver barter. A U.S. silver dime pre-65 is 90% silver, which right about today is worth about two and a half firms, Federal Reserve notes. So that's a good quantity for festivals like Pork Fest in the summertime, where you have people selling pancakes or coffee or home-brewed beer or massage services or any other thing. That's a good trading amount, and it's also a good amount where someone off the street will just buy it, and then they'll have always silver in their pocket, so that when they talk to friends and family, they're like, see, I'm not, this isn't a conspiracy theory, this is real silver, it was taken out of our money. So the other silver barter individuals in the network, Del Valley Silver, she's been doing a great job for years at minting custom design 1 ounce or quarter ounce, and she keeps coming out with more in the Delaware Valley region, so that's Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware. And then there's also AOCS, American Open Currency Standard, which is a network of people who design their own currencies, like the Lakota tribe, and Ernie Freedom's Phoenix was one of the things. Freedom's Phoenix silver 1 ounce silver round. Let's see who else is in the Silver Buyer Network.
Well, the movie Silver Circle is going to be. I tell you where I'm excited for what Ross and the guys are doing. This is not going to take off until somebody wants it to. And I'll tell you who wants it to take off. It's the young people. And they want it to take off because it's code. And what they have done is with Don't Tread on Meme, and I always say meme because it's easier for people to know how to spell it. Plus it's kind of a, double me. I like double me's. So, Don't Tread on Meme.com, and you'll get access to all their trade goods and so on there. But in the next segment, we're going to have Tom Westbrook. He's an Uber computer Intel geek guy that has created a site called libertytrade.net. Now, let me tell you what's so great about it. The bottom line is that not only does it mirror the traits of Craigslist and eBay, you can auction, you can just put up for sale, pictures, graphics, whatever. What it does is it allows you to select a currency. What am I willing to take for this item? And, what methods do you have to pay? We've been beta testing this for, it's been over a year. And what's happened is it's now all coming together to where not only can you buy stuff, you can buy it in silver with your Federal Reserve notes. Because the seller, he goes, hey man, it's $200 you want to buy my used digital camera. But for $150, if you convert it to silver, you get $50 discount. So guess what happens? Ooh, I want to be converting, what do I got to do to save $50? I click, boom, you got to do this. You got to buy the dime cards that then are sent to the seller. You see my point? The people are going to start doing this when a couple of things happen. 1, 2, it's code. And 3, they get to bypass the man. Now, this has all been, multiple generations here. I know there's some in the crowd even here, and his initials are Alan Corwin, that don't like silver. They go, no, it's never going to happen. You're not going to You know what? They said exactly the same thing, and the same people, during the 2008, what was going to happen with the Levolution and Ron Paul's campaign. And I go, told you so, told you so. When we come back, we're going to finish up with Ross Edwards a little bit and get to Tom Westbrook and tell you exactly how this is going to work. And you know first.
Sarah has been one of the hottest real estate markets in the past. It's pretty good, man. Homes going for $500,000 to $1 million. Are now going for less than half of what the original purchase price was. This makes it a very good time. So if you're ever thinking of retiring to Arizona and lay back and enjoying the lifestyle, now is the time.
Okay, well, the other convenient thing is we have a with your phone, you can scan this, go to our website, download free software, you can calculate all kinds of different currencies. So this is a tool. It's not just currency, but it's a tool. Sure. Well, we're not trying to be the only silver bar. We're trying to be the best at this small What's great is we
right here, baby.
And people, over there, we have almost 100 different designs.
Hang on, so it gets up to
that nostalgia. That's okay.
Listeners to
Meme is a Greek word that describes ideas that evolve through time.
because you don't have to sell it to
Over the
you.
course of a week, an idea that will percolate through society. But that's the idea, is you ask me, what is my shirt like?
And they can't control it.
So far, I've been
Trying to control
$500 a race of quarters. Yeah, it's heavy. That's what I was wondering. I don't want cardboard. You're saying you can't tell us.
Yeah, we're back to Southgate here on the Independent. With me, Ernest Hancock here in, well, not Phoenix, Scottsdale. Scottsdale, gotta give props. Scottsdale, Arizona, and you know we're having a good time. We're just sharing some information. Everybody's getting to have their say. Now, what I want to do is go ahead and finish up with Ross. He is so Cajun. I mean, are you going to say it or not? You know, you're not going to tell him about your secret little mission?
Oh, the machine? Well, if I let it out now, how am I going to sell advertisement on the YouTube viral video?
Oh, okay. See,
I'm going to sell. You're going to be first on my YouTube video if you're a precious metals dealer.
No.
You're get advertisement on this video.
Okay, now this is. See, a lot of people don't understand how we know what's going to happen, and a lot of this is for a lot of the activism and stuff that we do is, well, you know, I always like, we call it Billy Jacking. And a lot of people from my generation remember in the 70s, there was a movie that had featured Billy Jack, what was it? He was a Green Beret. And he did a movie, and it was kind of a B film that kind of, you know, hit cult status. And it was about a guy coming back from Vietnam. He was a Native American that, it was Prescott, Arizona. Yeah. And what he did is, it was corruption at home. He goes and he fights for freedom and all that kind of stuff. Vietnam comes here and all kinds of political corruption like today. So he gets there and he has a confrontation with the local sheriff. And the sheriff's just part of the man, you know, and he walks up to him and they're in the town square there, and he's standing straight in front of him and he says, you know, I'm going to take the right side of my right foot and put it up against the right side of your head, and there's nothing you can do about it. Oh yeah, you bam! Okay? We call it Billy Jacking. So what we do is we go to politicians, we go to the system, we go to a lot of people, we say, look, we're going to take the right side of our foot, and we explain it to them. And we want to make sure that they, you know, look, so nobody has to die. You know, nobody has to worry about it. Nobody has to, you know, we just want to make sure you know it's coming. We don't got to get freaked out. We're going to go ahead and do this for whatever purpose and reason that we have. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that you understand what's coming. Well, we're going to explain it to you. Cell phones off. So this is what we're going to do. For 2012, what's the project that we wanted to concern ourselves with? Well, the big thing, we had to make a decision whether we were even going to stay engaged, involved. Is it time to pull the trigger? And I'll tell you how the conversation went with Donna, myself, and supporters, and friends, and activists, and so you're hearing me say, I go, look, man, we're ready to move by March. We've been doing all this farming and goat herding and chicken making and whatever stuff so that we get the information so that we know what we have to do in order to lead, to sustain ourselves, to survive the zombie apocalypse, okay? Now, as we were doing that, we took our August edition, I think it was, of Freedom's Phoenix e-zine, and Gary and Verda Gannon and Donna and myself and a lot of other people, we took all our skills and we put it in the magazine. And we said, look, this is how you milk goats. This is the kind of crops you do, where you can grow them. We had Pal Gammel's now an uber, super duper certified whatever guy, went to all this permaculture classes and so on and got his little, shiny badge. And he says, look, man, here's how you plant where and where all the resources are and everything. So we took that and shared it with everyone, and we got ready with knowledge, prepared ourselves. And we said, by March, we're going to decide whether it's time to go somewhere. Let me tell you what happened. The kids don't know that I know. They're going to announce it to a kind of secret, but we have 2 more grandchildren coming this next year. So before 2012 is over, it's going to be 4 kids, because one of their siblings spilled the beans. Anyway, so what we're going to do is now I have, my oldest daughter is pregnant with her child. My younger son and his wife are pregnant with their 3rd child. So I want to have 4 grandkids. Let me tell you what we learned over the last year. As our 2.5-year-old granddaughter Kaylee and her exactly 1 year younger brother, Beau Corsair, they benefit enormously from having grandma and granddad around. Now I thought it's kind of a selfish decision. Do I want to be here and benefit from their presence? I get benefit. I love my grandchildren. I want to, and it never occurred to me how important it is to have grandparents be part of the upbringing of the children. I didn't realize how much grandparents, generation next past them, 2 generations next coming up, how much transfer of information and the patience that grandparents have with grandchildren. So I'm going, okay, I guess we're going to be, because I've been talking about this, the past years. I'm going, I tell you, I know where the revolution is going to get its muscle. They always say it's the young people in the streets. It's the young people that impassioned and with music and intolerance for, lies and deception. Yeah? Let me tell you who's helping and supporting them. It's the grandparents that can't leave. It's the grandparents that refuse to give up ground knowing that their grandchildren are going to suffer. It's the grandparents. So what we're doing is Donna and I made the decision that we're going to go ahead and stay at least another year. We're going to go ahead and, we upgraded the studio. We decided to go a full 3 hours and offer the show to affiliates around the country. We're going to build it and we're going to go whole hog. And why would we do this? What's the one thing that we can have as much of an impact as we did traveling around the country 4 years ago in support of the Levolution of Dr. Paul's campaign? What can we do? I mean, we knew that logo was going to get all kinds of stupid support because it was a revolution with love. It was a revolution of change, but without violence. We knew what was going to happen. So now, Dr. Paul's got that covered, man. You go ahead, whatever I can do to keep you on that podium, because I don't give a crap what the vote totals are. I know a lot of people do, but if you're still voting, you haven't been paying attention. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we go to the next level. Well, what's the next level? The only real important thing that the big bad guys, Big Bad Bubba, wants is control of every single transaction that you make. 50% of that transaction is the money, and the other half is the product. I want your widget more than I want these Federal Reserve notes. And that guy goes, you know what, I want your Federal Reserve notes more than I want this widget. And the only thing that has to change is instead of a Federal Reserve note, they want something else. They want something that's not going to be plummeting in value. I mean, as you're handing, you make an agreement, as you're handing it to them, it goes down in value. I mean, it's sucking the view of it, from the ether, as he takes it from you. I'm going, wow, man. If that isn't a selling point. So they're going, oh, silver's down. Silver's gone down. And I'm going, yay! I get to buy more. And it may go down even more. One of the big things, I want to bring this up. I've been covering a lot of science and technology on Freedom's Phoenix. We do it because we know it applies to a lot of things. And this is a really good example of it. Nanotubes, carbon fiber, it has super strength and super conductivity. silver applications may be replaced with carbon nanotubes. And a lot of people don't even know what it is. It's, you know, so I'm going, you know, does that have application? Is that, you know, Tom, you're a computer geek. I mean, you know, does nanotubes have the ability to replace silver in a lot of connections and stuff?
Yeah, if you have a signature on it.
Okay, wait, you get the microphone.
If you put a signature or something in the nanotube, I guess, you know, it's sort of like a serial number or something like that.
No. I mean, in keyboards, in industrial applications, and so on like that. I mean, because it's conductive.
Oh,
instead of yeah.
I'm not sure on that.
We're going to find out. And the one thing that I want to go ahead and keep the mic on because I want to, you know, introduce your thing. Well, see, once I get talking, it just flies by. Well, this is, you know, if that happens, silver's still going to have the most useful application as money. Money. And we're going to make sure of it. At the end of 2012, we're going to look back over this year and realize that from Phoenix again, freedom's Phoenix, the rise of the Phoenix, the rebirth of freedom from the ashes of liberty, the ashes of liberty's torch, is what we're all about. And it's going to be around silver this year. Guarantee it. You know why? Because we're going to do it. We're going to ask you to help.
What, $30 an ounce or something?
Maybe that's like a 6-minute break. I
don't know. It was $36 an ounce.
Stop. What? It's okay if it's okay with them. That's okay with them.
I was thinking it wasn't interfering.
I don't care.
So we can keep talking.
But the people in New Hampshire don't give a crap that there's a white Ford with their lights on, okay? There's a white Ford with their lights on.
Nature's events can come in the form of disease or allergy. You got gave a mind of a tiger. Let me make my point. Get your mind in here, listening, but I don't give it when you're too late. Now you get out, or I'll slice and take your heart out and fry up on my wheel. You all stay closer. You're gonna have a junk man back here and again, don't let me spill the words for
It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here!
No fear here on Declare Your Independence. From here to stand back here in Scottsdale, Arizona, Direct Club, the first one going into 2012. Now, one thing, we'll get back to Ross. He's out doing business right now, and everybody wants to buy. They go, ooh, that's partay. And a lot of people say, hey, man, why would I want a car? Why don't I just get the dime? Why do I want a car? Well, you know, I'm going, I don't know. Just use the dime. I don't care. You know, I tell you what the biggest trait of this, because it's cool and it's educational. On the back, it has a conversion chart and what their actual grams of silver on for each dime is. And you can get, with a smartphone, you have the ability, it's called Silver Calculator. And you have it on the Android platform, and iPhone, and on and on and on, and this is what you do. You download this application, and I push it It goes on my smartphone. I pull up my Droid right now, and I said, you know, what's this dime worth? In fact, what is this coinworth.info is the site you can go to get all of the downloads for this, or you can just go to the Android market or the iStore. This was what people were waiting on. And there was, I give a shout out to Tim Craig in Pensacola, Florida. He's a financial planner there that has been doing everything he can to try and make this very point, to explain to people the value of using precious metals, the value of putting your assets, at least a portion of it, and mine is like, almost all of it, is either lead, silver, and a little bit of gold just out of principle. But I'm really focused on, I know the silver thing's going to get stupid. Even if they come up with an industrial replacement for it, because I know because in many languages, silver means money. I mean, that's what the word means. So we're going to go ahead and I tell you what I know it's going to be. It's going to be worth more than zero. And I know that the dollar is going to be worth less than zero. It's going to be, if you pay me, I might haul off that pallet of money for you, okay? So that's how bad it's getting. So with the dime cards, it's an educational process. Cool, it's got marketing. So what Tim has done, got a portage going, you know what? This is such a good idea. He sent me hundreds of dollars worth of dimes just out of appreciation because he started putting his business card. Now guess what? Let's say you're a coin dealer, and we use a lot of them here in the Valley, and we go in there and we buy us $1,000 worth of goodies. Well, he might be inclined to give me a business card laminated with a dime in it, and guess what? A 90% silver pre-65, 64 and earlier dime is 90% silver. Right now it's worth over $2. Now from a dime, what's the percentage increase in that? That's an education inflation right there. And what happens is, am I going to throw that away? The business card, I'll just chuck it. I just can't do it. I can't. It's just, I can't. And as I get more, I accumulate them. And then all of a sudden, you're trading them like baseball cards. And we go into all these events and freedom events, and they've been doing this. They've been trading in silver. It's ounces of silver. We have Freedom's Phoenix silver 1 ounce rounds. We have, but I tell you, the thing that really took off last summer at Porcupine Festival were the dime cards. Now, there's other uses of technology that we can make it to where anybody that would go and buy something or something like that as a seller, I want to be able to tell people I want silver. So I give you an example. When we go to get our 3 goats, we want to get goats. Okay, we're going to do the goat thing, because they keep the brush back. And I can eat them if they make me mad. Or, I might get me some milk. So we're working on that. So I go, all right, well, I'd like to trade some silver for this to start practicing. Anytime I go there, I say, will you take silver? And they were like, yeah, leaning towards it. Yeah, I will. I won't. Waiting for silver, somebody else went and got it anyway. So I use silver to buy it. But the thing is that I'd like the option right on the site. What if you could put on your ad, you want to buy my eggs? Which is going for about a silver dime for a dozen eggs. I got eggs. I got more eggs than I know what to do with. I got 15 chickens, man. They'd be making me some eggs. People want eggs. And I got a lot of family members who I said, yeah, where's my dime? No. That's 67. I need 64. Okay. So what we do is because it's crap after 64. So what we do is we go, all right, how do we make this possible for me as a seller to offer my stuff for things that I have a value? Plus, there's another little thing. When you do transactions and you're out there buying and selling stuff, there's always the man. If you're making a lot of money, you're doing the well, I go, ooh, it's a protection racket. Here comes the guy in the Lefty Louie with his case and says, which part is ours? Well, we say this part. You're lucky we let you keep any. So the man does it. So it's a taxable event. Well, guess what? If I paid you in a silver dime or dimes, what are they going to tax? A dime! You get the tax on a dime. Okay? I mean, there's so many positive aspects to this. But we were lacking the technology. We needed to have a platform by which we could actually do the trade. Over a year ago, Tom Westbrook, you know Tom. I mean, everybody around the country knows Tom. He's the guy where we made all the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of signs. in his driveway in Mesa, and he's so lucky that a pressure washer took most of that off so he can stay married, okay? Because this was, I mean, it got to be a mess. So now what we did is go ahead, now Tom, tell them about, you know, what you created. What's the name of the site?
It's called libertytrade.net. And it's basically, it's kind of like, right now, you can post stuff for sale. It's kind of like Craigslist. I don't have any connection to any electronic currencies or anything yet, but that's my next phase. That's what I'm starting to work on now. Is using an account. It's called Walla.com, and basically what they're doing is essentially you can connect directly to your bank account. So there's no credit cards involved. So basically you can create an account on Walla and transfer money directly from your bank account into your Walla account, and now you can electronically transfer money between people. From one Walla account to another in there, so you can easily transact money. So I'm going to integrate that now into libertytrade.net. So as of today, right now, you can go on libertytrade.net and you can post things for sale and put descriptions in there and pictures, and then you can specify what currencies you accept, and then it'll get posted. And you can also search. When you do your search, you can search on I want to spend, put in there whatever currency you want to use. And then you can search and see all the people are selling things that will accept that currency.
So not only do you search by, whatever it is, you can search by what they're willing to accept as payment.
Right.
Now, do we have dime cards going on there?
Not yet, but that's the next phase. That's what I'm working on actually.
Yeah, I was going to get called last week. I said, Tom, we're ready, man. Get on it. Get on it. So that's why he's here today. We're talking about, with Ross and him and us. We're like, okay. We're ready. Now, you already have silver up there, right?
Yeah.
So you can just add another, just like the...
yeah, let's add another currency. That's no problem.
So it's just like the silver calculator. Emery from Del Valley Silver says, hey, you need to add the half ounce to it. I'm like, hey, it's on the list. But you're dealing with volunteers. I mean, normally these applications and stuff like that build what it costs. To do what you did, to build a Craigslist, an eBay combined feature with multiple currency, kind of all the features that you have, and I went to Mr. Westbrook and I said, build this for me, how much would you be charging me? $80,000. We got skills. Oh, here we come. We'll be right back here on Declare Your Independence. Yeah! I want to get a beat on it. Now, if they just go to libertytrade.net right now, they go to libertytrade.net and they said, I got something for sale. I mean, is it working?
Yeah.
I'm on it right now, man. Cool. Yeah, Sheldon's on it already. He's out there bartering.
I want that pirate flag.
There's stuff up there. You can see dime cards for sale on there right now. You can go and you can post anything. You can put pictures up there and description about it and specify what currency you accept and that kind of thing. So that's where it's at right now as of today. Hopefully in the next few weeks we'll be able to actually sell and transfer money using just a wallet interface. And actually go transfer money from your bank account electronically.
Now that would allow us, how would we be using dime cards? I want to know how, this is the point that I want to get to. I want to be able to put up my whiz-bang widget and say, you know what, this is worth X amount of Federal Reserve notes. You want to give me that? Fine, I'll convert it into silver anyway. Or you can just save me the trouble. I don't have to pay a premium. I don't have to go through the hassle. And all of a sudden, I just get in the mail me some silver. I get dime cards. Does your site allow for us to make that transaction and that to happen?
Yeah, that's what I'm working on now. So basically, you'll be able to go on the site and you'll have to create a wallet account, I think, first. And then you can use that. You just go to a quick account number in the libertytrade.net and transfer money from that. And then let's say, basically what we're going to do is they'll have people who want to sell their products and accept dime cards. And what are we going to call the currencies? We're calling it shiny or?
Shinies! Shiny, that's worth 1 shiny, 2 shiny, 10 shinies. I tell you, because we're doing a Firefly Serenity themed series of cards. And, you know, it's like, shiny. You know, let's be bad guys. Shiny! Let's go over here. You know, it's an expression in this series, and it has its own culture, its own meme going on. So what we're going to be doing is, it came up because what we do, we don't want to lose the silver in the dimes by polishing them or thinking, oh, don't polish them, you'll lose. I'll get over it. So what we did is I do reloading. So you have the medium that you use to polish the brass and make it very nice and very shiny is walnut shells. Or you can do cornmeal and all kinds of different stuff. It's wood, okay? I mean, you know, it's just sawdust. So you take dust of wood of some type, like I use walnut shells, and you just put the dimes in with that, and you just turn the thing on for an hour. You come back, and it still has, you know, some of the tarnish and grit on it a little bit. I'm not trying to get it perfect, but it makes it shiny. So we're going, you know, man, these are shiny. Go, ooh, that's a new currency. We're going to call them shinies. So we got, or dime cards or whatever, so that's going to be worth 3 shinies. So if I got something 3 shinies, you know, how am I going to get my shinies?
All right, okay, so let's say you want to sell something, you want to get paid in shinies, and that's what we're going to call it. So we'll post it on there and say, I want to get paid, you know, 3 shinies. So the way the process is going to work now, if I want to come buy something that you're selling and you want to get paid shinies, I'm going to be able to transact with this wallet account, transfer money from my bank, and then it'll basically transfer the money to you, which then you'll mail the shinies to the merchant who's
automatically
selling the product.
Okay, now this is one thing that we want to do. That's what we're working on. We need you know, the Uber geeks here. I don't want to have to go through all this stuff. I want it to be as easy as going to Craigslist, eBay, whatever, you know. So if I go in and I say, all right, I want this, what happens is it'll take me to the site to where I purchase the money to buy it. So it's part of the transaction. Just like when you go to PayPal, you put in your account, you put in, okay, transfer this to them. What you're doing is you're transferring the dime cards, the shinies, straight to the seller, and then they send you the product. So this is, even though it's a 3-way transaction, just like you would use PayPal on Amazon or something like that, but the end result, instead of me getting a check or an account or sent to my credit card or whatever, or going to my PayPal account, I'm getting shinies in the mail. I want my shinies for whatever the heck I'm putting up for sale. I'm going buying, don't tread on me, don't tread on me, don't tread on meme. You know, I got to make that clear. A lot of people don't know how to spell meme. Anyway, so you go, don't tread on meme.com. You go there, and I said, you know, I want to have, it's listed up on libertytrade.net, this shirt, this shirt, this shirt, this shirt, it's going to cost me 14 shinies, okay? So I go in there and I say, boom, I want these, I'm going to pay in shiny, or he will take shinies, and the money, the Dwell account goes in there, the shinies sent to him, I get my goodies. Boom, done. Technology rules again, which means Generation Net, except for Westbrook's an old guy. How old are you anyway?
Hey, speaking of that, I want to tell you a story last night about my son, you know Hayden, my son, who kind of, you know, put up with a lot of this softball stuff over the last 5 years. Yeah, well, he's kind of thought I was a deep dad, you know, doing all this softball stuff.
Because you are.
But last night he came home, he went out to a movie with 4 of his friends, and he just started this, he just started a government class, and so they started talking about government, politics. And somehow the Ron Paul thing came up. And suddenly he realized all 3 of his friends sitting at this table are all big-time Ron Paul supporters. This is high school. He's a senior in high school, and they're all pulling up Ron Paul videos on their phones. His dad went from being this uber geek, you know, maybe he's cool, dude. Maybe he's kind of cool. The Ron Paul thing is like maybe, you know, to me I think it's done now at this point. I mean, we got high school kids now. This is like spreading the Ron Paul message is spreading throughout high school.
You know,
seniors.
It's how old are you? You're in your 40s.
46.
Okay, so your generation is you grew up being interested in computers. You work for Intel. I mean you got some skills. But the next generation that's coming up, the kids that starting to work there, the younger 20-something-year-olds, do they have the same fundamental understanding of coding, of how it works, or are they just like, look, I can use all the applications on my smartphone, but have absolutely no idea how it's made?
guess it depends on the kids. I mean, you know, it's just like always. There's the kids that are more maybe technology oriented, and kids that are most are not. But you know, I would say there's definitely some technology minded kids coming out.
Well, I'm just saying with this new website coming out and everything, does your son and his friends, I mean, do they understand how cool this is going to be?
I don't think he really understands the silver thing yet, because he's not really...
He's just getting caught up on this Ron Paul thing.
Yeah, the Ron Paul thing, I think, is finally starting to... he definitely is looking at it differently now, I think.
You know, I tell you, the same with my sons. Both of my sons work at Honeywell Aerospace. They're machinists in the manufacturing salon. And all of a sudden, when we were making, 4 years ago, we would make all these Ron Paul bags that had DVDs in it and bumper stickers and all this stuff. And I'd look around and I knew I had like 50, 60, 70, 100 bags of these sitting over here, and it just kept diminishing and going down and going down. I'm like, who's taking all these? And then my son comes up to me one day, he goes, hey, you got any more of those bags? He was passing them out at work. I'm like, aha! But he wouldn't tell me. Well, now, the next meme, silver. Oh, it's coming from Phoenix. There isn't any.
That's full.
Okay.
It's a classic way to get silver. It's the bag coins. Just
You can have my walnut dust and do whatever you want with it.
And why don't you use dip instead of a tumbler?
Because I don't want all of the shine, all of the tarnish to go off. It gives it relief, and I just want it to be shiny on the surface, because that's what makes it shiny inside here. If you put a dirty dime in there, it just doesn't look as good. So it's just as much appearance as anything else.
Hey, Ernie, I'm Steve.
Hey, Steve.
It's time to pull my IRA. I don't know where to put it. Can I just put the whole thing in shinies?
No, you can't. They won't allow.
They won't allow me to.
No. What you can do, this is what, we'll talk about that when we come back.
Okay, and this is not fractionalized banking you're putting up there. You're going to you can cover everything, right?
No, it's metal. It's here. Do what you want.
It's not fractionalized.
It's transactional based.
It's what?
Fractionalized.
No, it's a dime.
This coin's been cleaned.
Well, not perfectly.
If you say you got $1,000 for this stuff, you got it. You're not saying you only have $100.
No, you got it.
Okay, don't get
I'm not keeping it.
I know what you're
I'm
talking about. I'm with you. I'm just trying to get it straight.
Yeah, no, we're not keeping your stuff. It's going to you.
You know what fractionalized banking is. I don't explain that to you.
Transactions. You haven't done the transaction. There's no storage.
Yeah, there's no banking. There's no storing. There's no nothing. It's just.
I don't want to store $100,000 of gold in my house. I don't want it.
Well, I don't either. So you got to go somebody that will.
There's guys in Hong Kong who do it for you.
Yeah, and you balance it back.
Yeah, about using. We'll talk about that. Yeah, this is what we're doing. This .0723, we have changed it to point, what is it? Let's go .07 what? 15? On ours, no, I think, yeah.
United States actually, my sister was
I've got 20 minutes of tape.
I'll get somebody else to two clients, 40th Street, Rozier, and 32nd Street, Broadway.
Also said you need
These set up their backups. That I'm done.
Independence here in the Hancock, Scottsdale, Arizona, Elder Breakfast Club. Everybody's doing some transactions. There's some of that worthless paper going into some silver. Okay, now there's some questions that some of the audience has had. Let's go ahead and address a couple of them. One, Dwalla is D-O-W-A-L-L-A.
D-W-O-L-L-A.
I was close. D-W-O-L-L-A. Now, Dwalla.com. Now, Dwalla, what this is doing is what they're trying to accomplish. Just like PayPal and Amazon and all these different startups, they have a service and a reason for its existence. And the reason for the existence of Dwalla, which is D-W-O-L-L-A, right? Okay, I got it right. .com. Now, what their purpose is to bypass transaction fees on credit cards. So you're able to go direct from bank account to bank account. Now, you're still in the banks. I mean, you know, you got to get a routing number, all that kind of crap. You know, so, but what you're doing is you're going in and you're transferring money straight from one to another. Let me tell you what the next service is. The guy that offers to serve your bank and put your credit on. Like, you know, that's another thing. You, even if you put on your Visa, you have these cash card Visas. A lot of times we'll pay for, get money orders and buy and whatever. We want to transfer some money, you know, to someone without having to, you know, everybody know about it. You just go get a cash $200 Visa card and you give it to them like a gift card. And they can just use it wherever they use Visa. But Visa gets their cut. So you're diminishing that. So Dwalla, you know, do they take a cut in the transaction?
It's basically 25% of the transaction fee. It doesn't matter the amount. So it works better for bigger transactions than smaller transactions because it's a smaller percentage.
So, but we're using this as just another option, right? I mean, there's all kinds of different options. That's what we're doing. We're developing this to have as many options as possible. Now, one of the audience here asked, he goes, you know, I have an IRA. I have some retirement. I got my pension. I got, and all this economic and social engineering that the man did to get all your money in one big giant pile so they could steal it, take it, steal it, confiscate it. It's mine now. And what they're doing, and you're already starting to say, the government's just taking the money. They're going, how do we make your money our money? We passed a law, it's ours now. Have a nice day. I mean, you think it's more complicated than that. So what they did here, they're a little bit more sophisticated, and they just kind of, you know, well, you're only going to be able to put your money into things that have a AAA rating. Well, it's got a AAA rating. So then we put all the money in there. And then those people that are in the AAAs, they said, that's ours too. So now we have a lot of people are looking at this option. Can I, especially since silver takes a dip, can I take and convert my retirement into a, are you holding that up for a reason? Okay, I'm not taking it. He's got a card. Whatever. So what we want to do is go ahead and have a way of transferring this retirement, these resources that, I tell you, if you had your money and your retirement in the stock market, what happened to it over the last few years? I mean, I go speak at, you know, these different functions. You have a lot of retirees at a big Tea Party thing, and I said, look, I already know. You, the vast majority of you are worth half what you were just a few years ago. Half. And how's that retirement going? And then, oh, we're going to live off the interest at .0000 nothing. You know, I'm going, are you kidding me? So this is, I mean, we're so messed up, and it was all a scam. They knew this was coming. They know the math. You know, Goldman Sachs made sure it all went to them. So what we're doing is a lot of people say, I want to take what's left of my retirement, or it's got to bump up now. Now it's at 12,000. No, everything, Europe will be saved. The European Central Bank gave money and the stock market's up and it's all good now. We should stay in. Not. So what they do is they said, all right,
what can I do to get what I have left, or I got a little bump, and put it into silver? Well, you can't. It's illegal. You're not allowed. If you have money markets and so on, do they have an ETF in precious metals?
Yeah.
Do they have retirement that, not that you can convert to? They go, so no, you're not allowed to put, they give you selected pools that you can do. Now, if you know a financial manager that can make the trade, because it's not made easy by your employer, they don't have that as one of the selections, all part of this economic engineering thing. But you can take it and transfer it, hopefully, into at least some metal-backed ETFs. There's different ways of doing that. But what a lot of people do, like Mike Duggar, a good friend of mine, he's a postal carrier, and he's on the old federal retirement system, accumulated some money. Now, what's the best thing that he can do right now? He can take a loan out on his own retirement. He took out like 40-something%. So he goes out, and I take out, tens of thousands of dollars and said, it's mine now, I want it out. And bought silver with it. He was the one that wrote the letter to the editor a couple weeks ago. It was on Freedom's Phoenix. That said, when silver hits 30, back up the truck and start buying. When it hits 25, back up 2 trucks. Okay? So this is, what he's looking at. He was sitting there holding on. He's going, oh man, it's going to hit 25. It's going to hit 25. He bought a bunch when it hit like 29 something. And he goes, oh, it's going down. It's 27. It's 26. I go, don't do it, man. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. It started going back up. I'm like, nah. So, don't be trying to catch the bottom in all this, because we're going to be looking back years from now and going, wow, I remember when silver used to be in double digits. Heck, because a lot of us remember it was in single digits. I mean, and that was this last decade. So I'm going, look, it's going to get stupid. And even if they find industrial replacements for silver, it's going to become money for one simple reason. Because it will never be worth zero, and the big bad guys are never going to stop spending. They don't know how to stop. They're not even attempting to stop. So, LibertyTrade.net is one of the mechanisms by which we're going to be able to evolve. Fortunately, we have someone like Tom Westbrook that has already created it over the last, it's been almost a couple of years you've been working on this thing.
Yeah, probably a year and a half maybe.
So now you're at the position to where we can just start tweaking it and playing with it and using it and actually start customizing it to do the things that we want to, right?
Yeah. I'm looking for people to use it, give me feedback, give me ideas, whatever, and let's get rolling on it. And I love the time card idea. It's a great idea, and we'll get going, get started on that, and keep going. So
everybody go to LibertyTrade.net and throw up your trinkets and trash. Let's just get it started. Let's go ahead and start. We put some things up there. Like Cop Block's got some stuff up there. Don't tread on. Memes got some stuff up there. We got, some trinkets and trash up just as we're working on it, but it's now. We're just now starting ready to flip the switch on this, and right when we're ready to go, we go, yeah, Tom, we're not done, man. We want to do some more stuff. We want to make it really complicated. We want to be able to take our Federal Reserve notes and use them to get silver to the person selling. You know why? Because that's what I want. I want silver, damn it. So what we did, Drew Phillips is working on the sales desk quite a bit. Now we're changing over everything. Subscriptions, advertising, merchandise, everything on Freedom's Phoenix is going to be denominated in silver. We're going to, you want to pay us it, you better get some silver, or you don't get to play. And if you want to go ahead and give us money, fine. It's going to go through LibertyTrade.net, and we'll have our advertising and everything up there so it converts. I never see your filthy Federal Reserve notes. I don't want them. Don't need them. Want silver, 2012. That's what we're working on. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about the site, what you're doing? Other than, all your son's friends are now think you can go.
I have one other suggestion to get Bitcoin onto it. And so that's maybe something else I'm going to be looking into after I get this wallet thing done. So it's a possibility. And yeah, some of the other ideas I had maybe was having a calendar on there for people to schedule, like swap meets and stuff like that. We'll have physical sales where people can just meet together.
That's where a lot of this stuff started. Before we go out real quick, I'll tell you this story. Tom Westbrook every month had a swap mart, and you went and we price everything in dollars, which is a definition of a dollar is 0.77 ounces. So we have $2 welders. You know, and I'm the bank. You come to me, real money, and then you can go buy. And then the man got involved. Hey, what are you doing?
Up until the last couple of years.
So Arnie, if you figure a dime is a .723,
I'm not figuring anything. I'm figuring it's pretty in a card. That's it.
But a shiny is .715.
Maybe.
That's an 8,000th difference, so you make
Maybe.
8 ounces of silver per 1,000 ounces.
Yeah, whatever.
Right?
You confuse me with someone that gives a shit, Alan.
I understand you like the 8 ounces free per 1,000.
This is the product. Right here. If you want to take this out and weigh it and do whatever, that's an Alan thing. Now they're posting fees for doing this.
That's everybody set up.
Alan's got something to say. John might give us an update. And
We'll get to that.
They can't be shut by saying, hey, hi, my
yeah, God knows never. We just want to break free. And all right, Lord help you, man. Get on the freaking mic and say what you got to say.
Okay, I say the denominator is silver, ounce, not dollar. Dollar is always one that was 90% silver, the other was that dollar was 10% smaller than an ounce silver. That's where the .77. So if you're denominating 1 ounce silver, 1 ounce gold, 1 ounce, silver gram, or 1 gram silver, 1 gram gold, you're gonna have a more pure, more better transaction when you go to the just weight measure instead of the dollar.
Okay, now this is the point. We know the definition of a dollar is 0.77 ounces. That's the definition of a dollar. It's not what some Federal Reserve guy said. It's not what you know. The definition of a dollar from the that was education of the whole part, the education of doing the park and swap thing, the whole point that Tom Webb brought this in. It was Eric Hofstetter, a friend of ours. They said, Ernie, I'm buying anything. You go to that, it's called Tulbing, Tulbing, I think it is, Tulbing.com. They sell the mercury, it's like the mercuries, because for us old people, if you go to that, you know it is an old 90% silver dime. That's why a lot of these dimes you hear they're old mercury. But they have the same silver content as 64 Roosevelt. I don't like it all on my money. So we went to mercury barbers. Now the point is that they don't do mercuries, but it's Tulbing.com. It is up to 80 cents per ounce below spot. Below. We're paying up to $2, even $4 an ounce over spot to get bullion. If you get dimes and you buy them in bulk from them at $1,000 face, which means it's like a lot. So you go, you get, it below. Like buying silver any other way. Why would I do that? You know what I mean? Recognize it's just minted. You got a problem with the quad, go blame them. So the thing is that yes, on the back of the cards you put actually what the grams of silver are in each one of these things. Now, so that's what Keith is talking about. Quit using the term dollar. We really want a version of the Federal Reserve pretend I wish I was a dollar. So what we do is we do it in grams and ounces of silver and gold. Now on the back of the silver card, it says, on this one right here, the older version says 0.0723 ounces is what this dime has in the content of silver. Now, Ross, help me out here. Where did that number come from and what's it been changed to and why?
Just came off Wikipedia because that's what people would probably go to, but now we are changing it to 0.0715 because that's the average unit of weight that dealers will pay you for used circulating silver. So we're just trying to be more meticulous now.
Yeah, so for people like, his initials are Alan Corwin. But the thing is that what we do is we have, they go, oh, well, the numismatic community doesn't like, I go, numismatic community? They're selling me these at under spot value. So I'm going, I don't think it's got a numismatic value, okay? But the thing is that, yes, when people, they say, hey, you polished that dime, you're not allowed. Well, then it's not shiny. And mine are shiny. So just get over it. You know what you paid for your 0.00001 cent? You got it shiny, so there. And I didn't charge extra, so I don't want to hear it. So this is what we're doing. We're going to go ahead and for just that reason, for people just like Alan, we have changed it to 0.0715 instead of 0.0123. 0.0723. And for just that reason, because it's circulated out there, that's why it's only 90% silver instead of 100, because they add some other metal to it to harden it so that it is able to withstand circulation. That's the whole reason. And if you look at really old barber dimes and so on, old quarters, you'll see if they've been in circulation a long time, they really do start to wear. So they kind of take down an average. Now ours are the nicer ones. I mean, this is the standard that we set, is that each one of our dimes that you're able to make out the year that's on it. If you're not able to make out the year, it doesn't have enough silver, okay? So that is one thing. So what they're doing is they're taking this 0.0715 as an average of all the bad ones and the ones you can read. So I'm just going, look, we're fine. It's a freaking silver dime, okay? And you can tell. So we're good, and that's how we're doing it. Now what was some of the other stuff? Oh yeah, you wanted to, because we're in New Hampshire, all right, and the presidential race is there. Sam Torm is going on, and I got to give props to Ian Freeman up there. You know, I saw your interview. You said, hey man, have you Googled yourself yet?
Yeah. Well, just what got me reminded of Santorum's quotes this week in Keene is the last segment people were worried about their retirement accounts and what would happen to them. Well, let me read to you what this Cheshire Cat Pharisee Santorum said about stealing, what you put into the system. He says, he called for more means testing as a way to save Social Security. Quote, I mean, we just can't afford to pay people who don't need this money, the money because we, quote, promise them if they don't need it, Santorum said.
Wow.
Yeah, and notice hot on the heels of Iowa, he really tried to court the religious vote in Iowa, and all of a sudden he's kind of not talking about that in New Hampshire. He's gone the Ron Paul direction, talking about economics. Well, just want to say that's what he thinks about economics, people. And also, that's what he thinks about the retirement class that he's so trying to court is the conservative group. Well, that's what he's going to do to you. And I just want to say that.
Well, I want to know how he determines what the mean is.
Hey,
I mean,
Rick,
how does he decide?
Slick Rick, I got a deal for you. How about you pay people what they've put in and start selling off federal land? 89% of Arizona is government owned. Give me a piece of that, I'll pay you. I'm gonna own it. Deal. I'm for that. In fact, the legislator that beat Senate President Russell Pierce, Jerry Lewis, that is now has taken his place, we had a couple-hour conversation. It was about this very thing. I go, we got to come up with some kind of mechanism that we turn the state land, there's a lot of that too, BLM land, real land management, into private land, and I get it and you can't come take it from me. Is there some way that we can have land to where I'm not renting it from the government? Is there some way that we can not have it taxed out from under? Is there some way that we can be free? Is there some way that I can stay here and not move to Honduras? Because let me tell you what just happened in this last month. Honduras changed their constitution to allow for free zones of government. They're free. They said, it's yours. You guys do what you want. And let me tell you who did this. It came from Milton Friedman's grandson. There's Milton Friedman, David Friedman, and his grandson. It's Patry Friedman was with Seasteading, which was an effort to build a city on the ocean and put them out 12 miles off the coast of like San Francisco or something, and you just take a fast boat out there. Heck, it's less commuter time than being on the freeway. Boom! I'm going out, I'm there, I go to work out in International Kiss My Butt Waters, and you come back home and you're done. And he's going, and I was interviewing Peter Schiff Thursday, and he goes, yeah, man, that's a good idea. I want to do that. I said, oh, it got even better. Milton Friedman's grandson, how do you say, Patry was the CEO of this. He was on the head name behind the Seasteading thing, and he turned it over to some other people and left, and he's the one in charge of the first free city that's going into Honduras. Honduras government changed their constitution saying, oh, you libertarians, come on down here and spend your money.
And I'm going to Arizona state government saying, hello, you want us to stay? Now get out of my freaking face. Oh, we have some fun today? You guys get it? You understand? What we're doing is how can you be free? And all of you guys that are imprisoned by the mind fornicating that the government has done upon you for your entire life, there's a generation next that has already freed themselves between the ears. They're just taking what they know, taking the technology, taking the resources, learning from those of us that were crazy 20 years ago, and letting us help them free their mind and their body in the future. In 2012, we're going to prove that not only is it possible, it already happened. Go enjoy the rest of your weekend and declare your independence.
All right, before everybody runs off, I got one thing to mention. You all heard that a map is coming, right? And it's real controversial. Well, I have a copy of the map. It's right here, full color, both sides. When we started the Train Me Arizona program, so that everybody in Arizona would learn marksmanship and gun safety, we said we'd put maps into Sky Harbor Airport, and here it is. This is at every information kiosk in Sky Harbor, and it says, it's got a picture of our billboard, "Welcome to Arizona, learn to shoot straight." All 9 information kiosks that have people in 3 terminals at Sky Harbor and 2 locations in the car rental. So when you come here from gun-deprived New Jersey or gun-insane California, you get this Learn How to Shoot Straight. And it just happens to have a small ad for some of my books, and the big one in the middle is Bomb Jokes at Airports.
So can you rent guns at the kiosk?
You can't rent guns at the kiosk yet, but we're working on it. When you go to the airport, go to the information kiosk, get yourself a couple of these, and recognize that we are moving the nation ahead on the gun issue by putting this in their face. And I haven't gotten a call from TSA yet, but I'm waiting. Thank you.
Anybody else have an announcement? Where did John Stewart go?
He went outside talking to somebody.
All right, well, he's not in jail. It looks like it's going to be May. They're putting off his murder trial. He had a hung jury. You know, for those of you that don't know, he was out about 4 years ago putting out Ron Paul signs, and there was a traffic thing, and a guy, you know, blowing twice the legal limit comes out, and, you know, starts pounding on him through the door, and all of a sudden he winds up with a bullet in his head and he's dead. So, you know, the prosecutor in their infinite wisdom decided that, you know, they're going to prosecute him for murder and, you know, whatever. So it went back and forth. He defended himself, and they got a hung jury, so now they're going to bring it back in May. And John already had his chance. Too late. I told the story. You're done.
Was it the whole story?
It wasn't the...
It was the Ernie version.
You didn't mention the new motions, though.
If I can tell you something, though, we are doing a computer animation. And if you want to check out what a computer animation looks like, you can go to Principal Animation LLC, Google that, look at his website, and we're doing a computer animation from our witnesses that's going to show actually exactly what really happened. The state is going to try and do the same thing, but they won't be able to because all their witnesses told different stories. And just so y'all know, Appleton, do y'all remember the story where an attorney named Appleton, same incident as mine, they dismissed his case.
2 months ago.
Right. 2 months. His case was dismissed the same day
How
that mine received a hung jury. The reason they dismissed his case was because instead of destroying all the exculpatory evidence, all the evidence that proved he was innocent, like his clothing, the vehicle, they kept all the evidence, looked at it, and goes, yeah, the guy did attack him in his vehicle. In my case, they took all the evidence and proved I was innocent and destroyed it. Purposefully. They even hid my vehicle. They said they lost my truck. They confiscated the truck, they put it in the impound yard, and then they said they lost it.
Okay, well, let's get, thank you, I'm glad you're out of jail.
There's a
Let's go
reason-
ahead and do
Thank
that. I got a couple other announcements to make. Let's go ahead and let Frank do his, winners, or he'll have a
There's a
count.
reason Appleton got out, and most people don't know it. There's a thing called a Trebus letter, which can be filed between the arrest and before the indictment. And he brought in a private eye who used to live here, Paul Hubel, who's now in California, who got a Trebus letter filed which forces the grand jury to look at exculpatory evidence. And you can only do that in this short little golden window between arrest and indictment. That forced the grand jury to come back with a no bill. A Trebus letter, Trebus mistake.
No, that's not.
We can debate it later.
That's from the attorney.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, first chance of the books back on the table back there. 2784. 2784.
There's your winner.
Second choice for the book. 2796. 2796. Got one back to there. Okay. Third and last chance. 2782. 2782. We got a
Want to
winner.
do one more for a dime card?
I'll just throw it and see who gets it first.
No. Go ahead, if you have another number, go ahead and call it out. Someone get a dime card.
Okay.
All right, for a free dime card.
2815.
What's it worth?
Okay.
Less to you. So you don't mind if I take your.
2807.
Everybody say yes.
Yay! Okay, a couple other things. One, this right here is one of three that we have, and it comes with all kinds of stuff that plugs into the system and all that. What this is an FM transmitter. We have 30, a 20, and a couple adjustable 20 watts. It's really only legal if you transmit at 3 watts. What this means is when we bring our RV to anywhere, on February, I forgot to tell you, on February 8th, we're going to courtside again. Let me tell you why. There was a young lady that was traveling through, stayed at Ross's home, got some dime cards and so on. So you've heard this podcast I did on this. Got some dime cards, goes to courtside on her way to California to visit some friends and family, to visit her father that stays in quartzsite over the winter months. Everybody's out selling their trinkets and trash or whatever. She puts out her blanket and starts, just has some, hemp rope, jewelry, tie-dye, whatever the heck it was. And here comes the man. Boing! Hello. You're not allowed, okay? Did you get permission from and pay your fee of and our new little we make money out of whatever and I could arrest you and whatever. So she rolls it up, fine. She walks out and she sits down and she's texting her boyfriend to find out where, he's at to hook up with him. Comes back, I told you to leave, you got it. And she wouldn't do anything but sit. So what happens is eventually, because she didn't kiss, ring, and lick boot enough, fast enough, he arrested her.
Wow.
Puts her in jail. She's there for however many hours. Then they finally go to release her, and she, in her wallet, she had a $1 bill, and in a separate compartment, she had silver. She had 5 silver dimes and a silver quarter. Now, it's 75 cents, but it was worth a lot more than that. And she used it for medicinal stuff and water and electro, kind of keep I don't die, all right? So they go to her and they release her and they said, all right, here's your check for $1.75. She goes, it's right there, just give me my property back. No. She goes, well, I want my property. Well, what's $1.75? What? I didn't know why. I guess they get paid money to write a check or something.
They're holding it and they're keeping it for the float. They keep that money in their bank account. It gets floated every night and they collect a daily interest on it.
Plus they track you with.
That's exactly what they're doing. When you deal with millions of dollars, that one day float can be a lot of money.
So there's a reason for it.
That's exactly what the reason is.
But she insists, I want my property back. It's not worth $1. It's worth more. Now, the dime card that they had in the wallet, they didn't touch. So then so they left that in there. But the actual dimes themselves that were free were worth less to the government. So they took those and gave her a paper check. She goes, no, I want this back. So the cop comes up and goes, oh yeah? Put her back in jail.
Wow.
She goes back in jail. She's crying, she's upset. The female checker-inner person, oh, don't worry, honey, it's all right. You know, they're just, you know, because they can. I mean, you know, whatever. So finally she gets out. Now she's got to go back February 8th. And her father has to go to Parker to get her $1.75 in silver, or 75 cents in silver. So what do? We make a big stink out of it. We have a lot of fun on the radio. We're making a network, and we're taking the RV to Quartzsite February 8th with FM transmitters that will transmit the signal. Listen, 91 point whatever we set it to, and everybody gets to listen to the show about what happened in Quartzsite. That's the power of these. Okay. I just ordered another one. We got a brand new one that Bob has ordered all the stuff and resetting up. We have a couple of more of these, and you have one too, right? You know, so this FM transmitter thing, we just pull up the RV, and it's just you put a sign up on it and so on, and say what frequency. You can just sit there like a drive-in and listen to the show.
But how far can it transmit?
It can go, you know, a short, depending on how you crank it up, but it can go miles.
You can get a good 10 miles.
Yeah, in Quartzsite, it'll probably, the entire area, hundreds of thousands of people that are there this time of year will be able to listen to it, and we'll pass out stuff, and it's going to piss them off, and here comes the man. I guarantee the man be a coming. So we're not having the transmitter in the RV. It's going to be over there somewhere. I don't know. It's around here somewhere. I don't know what you're talking about. So we're going to go ahead and be doing that. The other thing, oh yeah, when you're talking about the evidence and so on, we just had a story on Freedom's Phoenix a couple days ago, and what it said was there was an attorney in Seattle that did a freedom of request for dash cam video of cops beating up people, okay? Now there's a bunch of them that's been going around. One military ex-Iraq, Afghanistan vet that was in support of Dr. Paul and so on was out getting the crap beat out of him because they had a young girl they pulled out of a car for whatever at a gas station, and they had her arms like this, lifting her up, and you know, just pain because they're dicks, okay? Well, he's videotaping this. Well, they didn't like it. And they go out, you can't do that. And he just went like this. He knew better, man. And they're just pushing him and giving him a hard time and arresting him, got him on the ground, beating him and all that kind of stuff. He goes on Craigslist. He says, hey, does anybody happen to be there or got videotape or whatever?
How the hell did that happen?
And they go, because it always does. And they go, as a matter of fact, I did. So they send it, post it. Their police are going, as they're just got him up against his truck, and he's got his arms out like this. So what did they say that he did? He spit on me. You couldn't see the video of him spitting on me.
After he shoves him.
Yeah, no, it's just, they're so screwed. Now that's one case. Then you had the Seattle thing. There were 5 incidences where he was approached to be an attorney for people, the Seattle policemen are just beating up people. You know, just because they can. And it's going to keep getting worse. As they get more and more military guys coming in with this attitude, respect my authority, kiss my ring, I'll kick your ass because I can. Yeah. That's where the cop block stuff comes in and why we're doing all this video. And all the people that have this videotape, they finally have a place to send it, copblock.org. And all this information goes up, man, they don't like it. In fact, they are, this Monday, Ademo Freeman, one of the cop block guys that started that, is going to trial on a bunch of stuff and everything that, you know, for them chalking on the sidewalk in front of the police, and it's a long story, but what they have as another big case is there was a high school and the campus cop goes up to this young kid and just pulls him out, beats him up and everything. They had it all on video. So they put it on Cop Block, made it big. What does the Cop Block do? Charge him with multiple felonies for wiretapping. Okay? So then this attorney in Scottsdale, building up here, in Seattle, he goes, I'm doing a Freedom of Information request for the dash cam videos. So what did the Seattle Police Department do? They sued the attorney that asked for it. And they're saying that we're going to let the court decide on this. Now he has to get, the attorney has to get an attorney, he says, to go in and argue this, because what they're saying is that until the case is settled, the guy that we beat up, you know, for privacy concerns of the officer, until that case is settled, we can't release the tape that we beat him up. See my point? This, how bad it is. Everywhere. And these kids now, I tell them, we have the, you know, Shelton's been in these meetings. We have the officers from Phoenix Police Department come down and we go, everybody goes like this, blip, and you're famous in 5 seconds. Are you sure you want to do this? Because they don't understand the technology. We had to explain it to them. We had to show them. I had them stand in their supervisor, and Al Ramirez and his supervisor from the Confrontation Prevention Squad of the Phoenix Police Department walk them over to the computer, and Shelton played one of his Steel Deal Stop videos from the Border Patrol of them doing something stupid for 5 seconds, making a 3-minute video out of it. I go, you give me 5 seconds, make you infamous. Are you sure you want to play? I'm going to read to you, now this, how many of you know Mark Victor, right? Mark Victor, criminal defense attorney, my partner on the Freedom Summit, friends for a long time. One of his best friends that was in the foxholes, in with him, in Desert in Kuwait, when they were in the Marines, was a guy named, what's his name? I don't want to give out his name. So this guy, Marine with him, Mark Victor went off to be criminal defense attorney. He went off to work for the Phoenix Police Department, okay? We're on a cruise for Mark's wedding and so on, and we're out hanging. I've known this guy for a long time, and I knew he was a Phoenix policeman and all this kind of stuff. But what I didn't know, I was at a party with him just a couple weeks ago, and we're talking about this different stuff and saying the Fusion Center made all this up, shooting cops thing, that they're doing, Occupy Phoenix wants to shoot cops and all sort of BS that the Fusion Center is doing, which is the Department of Homeland Security, multi-jurisdictional task force crap we've been fighting since the mid-90s, that they bring all the data from all law enforcement. It's just like the Gestapo, might as well call them the SS, okay? They put out through the sheriff's department saying, they want to kill us and everything. You get on the TV and everybody wants to shoot cops. Well, they didn't read the actual article that we published from Larkin Rose. That this was the gist of the article. When should you shoot a cop? That was the title. That's what freaked them out. And let me tell you when he said. It's sometime before the sliding door on the cattle car closes. I don't know when, but it's before the clunk. Okay? It's definitely before that. So that is what freaked them out. They go, no. It's after the gas chamber is closed. Okay? So then I'm talking about this. He goes, yeah, I know, they did and we did and this. And I go, what? Let me read you his card. Federal Bureau of Investigations, Joint Terrorism Task Force, Sergeant, Phoenix Police. So we got contact right at the tippy top. Say hello. So this is what he says to me. We're talking, yakking, and he said something that just pissed me off. Because he should, he just insulted my intelligence. He goes, yeah, Ernie, within 10 years, I bet you Phoenix has surveillance drones. Exactly! I'm going, 10 years? What are you, propaganda minister or something now? Bullshitting! I already know they got them. Hell, they got them in Tucson. Texas, they got, the drone, the predators, the reaper, here they come. One of the predictions that was done by, I can't remember one of the authors in this month's magazine, was that this year there will be death from above. They've already done the Predator drone was used in the arrest of some rancher out in, northern Montana or wherever it was, and they had, local surveillance. And they go in and they did the whole, CNN thing. They have these $500,000 helicopters, surveillance and so on, little remote control kind of eyes in the sky in Texas right now. This has already started. It's how fast can you get them out? It's not if, it's only when, this year. And for him to be at the tippy top, a liaison from the Phoenix Police Department, the FBI, the Joint Terrorism Task Force, and tell someone like me, a decade, what do you think, I'm fucking stupid? That just pissed me off. I go, I'll just trust you now.
Well, they'll have the drone, save some child on the mountain. They'll say, see, this is why we need the drones. Save this child. And then they get you.
Oh, absolutely. This is what Sheriff Arpaio, when they started bringing in the black helicopters, they came in and they gave them forward-looking infrared radar on this. And this is what Arpaio said. He goes, because we need to find lost hikers.
Yeah, right. I just want to say, L.A. cameras on the street caught the fire arsonist. Cameras on the street.
Of course it did.
And I know what it was for. That's a good reason to have those cameras.
Of course. It's going to catch all big bad guys.
Just put one on everybody's.
But they don't point the cameras inside Congress. They don't point them inside Washington. They don't point them at Goldman Sachs. They don't point them in. It's always at us. And they'll go, look, we got this one bad guy that did this, whatever. But they never. So when you want to get the bad guys and say, look, here are the officers beating the living crap out of these people. Oh, I'm sorry, we're going to sue you. You're not allowed that footage. How screwed up is this? So I'm just going, whenever somebody brings it, I go, yeah, but see, that's exactly what they do. It's a little child. It's a lost hiker. It's a whatever. But they never turn them on themselves.
Never.
Yeah. So I'm just, this is why I know what's coming is unstoppable. It is just a sense, it's just a sense of justice that we're going to be in a situation to where the generation next just knows that they have no legitimacy, no credibility, and they just want to they don't even want to challenge the system. They don't want to be in charge of it. They don't want to wear the ring of power. They just want to be left alone. So that's what they are afraid of. And that was what my article was about this month. My thing was like, look, there's nothing to win. There's nobody to be in charge of. There's no ground to take. They're just backing away and using silver dime cards. You want to have the big, because let me tell you why I know this is going to be a big deal. I am already of the opinion that Dr. Paul won a long time ago. Okay? I mean, even in vote totals, but they'll never demonstrate what they can't. The only reason they would allow Dr. Paul to be the nominee and, oh my God, be elected president would be if it was the only way that they could even maintain the concept of America, that they could even have a government left over. Because what happens? It's always the guy inside that's the rebel in Parliament in England, in different what's his name in Poland, what's his name in Chechnya, what's his name in whatever. It's always somebody still in the system that wins, and I'm here for the peoples. Okay? They do that just to have a continuity of even having the system. If they feel that it's on that rocky an edge, they may allow Ron Paul, in their own self-interest, to maintain the game, which is what the Constitution stuff is, and it'll get me going. If not, what will happen is that we're in a situation to where I don't think there's like ground to take. It's just an understanding of the young people that they are able to finally have a vote. That's why we started in 2003. What the parent of all this we started with was walletvoting.com. Wallet voting is where I knew it was going to happen. Sooner or later, people are going to be voting with their wallets. And it's not necessarily with Federal Reserve notes. It's going to be, whatever. So it's going to be, I make stuff, I get value, I trade it with someone. That is where your activism is going to be. So as they take Dr. Paul and the peaceful alternative in the politics away from the people, people are not creative enough. They don't want you to be creative enough. They want you to think the only thing, it's the cartridge box, the jury box, or the soap box. Take the soap box away, take the juries away. Now we're just going to have to shoot them. Is that it? What if an entire generation goes, I don't have to nothing. I just have to back away and stop using their money. I just have to make one transaction a month in silver barter and just bypass it. I just have to start living a different life that I just bypass from the whole system. And we have hackers. How many times have you been hearing me say that we're going to space and government's not invited? There is going to be Spaceship One. The reason we made such a big deal out of that is because we understood we could put up our own communication satellites. What did we just have last 2 weeks ago? They go, hackers have come out and said anonymous, and all these guys go, we're good. Go ahead and do whatever you want with your Web 2.0. We're going to space using our own communication satellites and bypassing the whole effing thing. Now what? And they go, it's going to be illegal. I use a box like this is my internet. They have for 16 pounds, which is $20 or something, in U.S. money. For 20 bucks, you get an entire computer the size of this, right here. And it plugs into the back of your computer. It has a Wi-Fi keyboard and mouse, and your TV becomes a computer, and your whole computer is on the web, the cloud, and it goes right off of this. Okay, that's what we're doing. I'd rather have all my stuff in one thing, but computer, it's going to be a USB drive. Your smartphone is going to be your everything. I remember a short story in the 80s when I was a kid reading science fiction to where they were talking about you're going to have a time to where you give your kid at birth a teddy bear, and every word you've ever uttered, everything you ever said, everything you ate, diagnostics on your system, your breath, everything will be recorded in this one chip, and it'll go from a teddy bear to your puppy, to your cell phone, to your implant behind your ear. So what do they have now? iPhones that has Siri. What's the weather today? What are my appointments? Where am I going? How am and it just asks questions. This is now. So how do we take this capability and all these young people that not only are the ones that know how to use it way better than me, they're creating it. And the fundamental knowledge that they have to create what they can imagine. I mean, it's like the only thing I'm waiting on Star Trek is warp drive and replicators and holodecks. And heck, holodecks is about that far away. They are right now, they called it spring-loaded television or something, that actually, based on the intensity of the signal, can actually warp and change the shape of the TV to have real 3D TV without glasses. This is coming now. Now. What is the future? Do you understand what's happening? That's why the older Americans here, that have been different generations, you can't even conceive of what's being done, the power that's inside their hands. You could go to these police officers getting sued left and right, and you have to walk, you have to take them by the hand, say, come here and look what I'm going to do. I'm going to Billy Jack it. Wham. Okay? You guys be stupid, this is what's going to happen. So we had, 8, 9 officers come down to the workshop before the TSA thing we did last Thanksgiving, over a year ago. They're like, oh, you're going to have to respect our authority. Time. Well, man, you guys are so going to look stupid. You're going to act like this, aren't you? You're going to do this. Well, we're going to have to accost you and check your state of mind, see if you're not crazy. So what did Nick say? He goes, yeah, what if I use my state of mind to ignore you because I can't? What if I use my, I just, kiss my butt? Now what? Down on the ground? So this is what we're going into. Now, we made the decision for this next year that we'll go once more into the fray. I'm going to go ahead and put my neck out on the block, okay? So I just, and a lot of you would just as soon, have it lopped off, and some of you may not. But the thing is that we're going to go ahead and push this, regardless of what anybody thinks, regardless of whether it's 0.0723 or 0.0715, we're going to go ahead and put out there a mechanism by which you can vote with your resources, with your effort, with your work. At the end of 2012, remember, back in 2007, we had the same conversation about Dr. Paul and the Levolution. Nobody gave it any credence. Ron who? 70-something-year-old for where? He does what? He's Mr. No. He never votes. Doesn't get anything passed. Never, and then no clue that I knew that an entire generation next across the planet is going that direction. Because they weren't looking in the right place. I see the same thing in my mind's eye for this silver with these guys doing this. I'm telling you,
Takes time.
Here it comes. Well, we've been working on it for a year.
And I want to add,
30 years.
This project has taken hold outside of the Liberty movement. Because I've given it to taxi drivers in San Diego, baristas. I went down to Occupy Phoenix. I told the radical left, I said, hey, stop asking for politicians to fix the banks. Now take money out. So this people already get it. People already get this.
The other thing, tell them about how many cards you're negotiating with a company back-ordered for cards.
1 to 2,000. But, that's in the works. And
imagine this, 2,000 of these. Why? Because they know they're not going to throw them away. And once this starts, and where are we going Monday night? In Scottsdale's Performing Arts Center right here, Peter Schiff is going to be there this Monday night. Ooh. We had him out there, like, oh, Ernie, come on down. And I'm on the air, and I said, Peter, all the guys, I just really buttered them up. I go, oh, Ross, these guys, they want me to tell you how much they love you and read all your stuff, go to your site, and you demand, listen to your podcast and everything, and they want you to spend some time with them, to talk to them. Well, of course, what are they going to do? He's going to have some nice Euro-Pacific, Europac.net cards made up and kind of hand it to him and say, ain't this cool? He goes, well, yes, it is. Now, he's already, at least in his name, Michael Fingers, one of his representatives that was at Pork Fest. He came and talked about it. We went on the radio. I was doing it live there just like we're doing here. And all of a sudden, he's like, oh, it's cool. So Europac wrote a big article on the dime cards. Then we had the Mises Institute. Bob Murphy and those guys wrote something. Then we had National Public Radio talking about it. They're going, we went to Pork Fest, and we got 7-year-old kids selling us home beer and trading silver dime cards for it. We was in the Agorist Valley, man. So while you guys are going nitpicking about, oh, you know, well, how are you going to, we don't want, because you're looking to say no. Mm-hmm. They're looking to say yes, and they are. We'll see you next month.
Hey.
Yes.